Hey, how's it going? I am going to try to build a new Statomix site with Tailwind using these instructions. I asked Jack McDade what he thought, and he says, I think that approach is overly complicated. Using Laravel Mix is a lot simpler, but it would definitely work. So I don't even know what Laravel Mix is. Maybe I should start there. Let's look. Laravel Mix. What is that? Okay. I've never tried that. Again, the whole thing we're trying to accomplish here is maybe replace our WordPress site eventually with something other than this. And I've just been such a big fan of the Statomix site that Jack built for me for my personal site that, yeah, I'd like to maybe build it for Transistor as well. It just seems to have a good mix between having a control panel, but also having Git history for all my content, all the advantages of a flat file CMS. So, for example, every time I write a new post, hey, what's up? This is Lewis, right? Good to see ya. I should actually just let a few folks know I'm here, shouldn't I? Yeah, I really like all of this. So here, I'll give you an example. When I'm writing an article, what's going on here? Oh, I'm loading up Slack. That's the problem. So choose articles and create a new article here, and I'll call it how long did it take Disney to become a success? You know, another thing actually that I've noticed about WordPress lately, some people like the new editor, but now I'm going to try to remember what the, I think this was it. You know, Nathan Barry here saying the new Gutenberg editor in WordPress really takes the joy out of writing. And I think, you know, that block level formatting makes sense for some things, but if you really like to write, it's hard to beat just a nice page like this. And actually, I think Statomix has a nice, again, a nice mix between block level editing and just writing. But I'm going to be writing a piece on this, for example. So this was a thread that kind of took off. And so when I see something pop like this, it makes me want to write about it. And so, you know, I might start my post like this, and I can save it. And if you look at here in GitHub, it's now, I've got a history for all the content that I'm making, right? So here's Git history for what I've just created, and having all that in GitHub in version control is such a big deal. And I can push this up to the site and have it saved. It's really, really great. Yeah, just knowing that it's not all in a database and I won't lose it all. So that's kind of the motivation behind all this. All right, so yeah, let's see if I can do this. I've got about an hour before I need to go home. So I'm gonna pull up the instructions again. And we'll see how far I get. Okay. And Tailwind and Statamic. All right, so yeah, let's see how far we get here. So let's close some of these things. And yeah, I'm going to use these instructions and see if we can get anywhere. I'm going to open a new terminal window. We've got tons of processes running here. Holy. Here we go. All right, so I'm in, let's go into my kind of sites directory, and then we're going to go Statamic, new, let's call it transtat for transistor or Statamic site. It's going to do a bunch of stuff. Let's create a user. User will be this. Create a password. Put it to Justin at transistor.fm. And then Justin Jackson. And I'm making this a super user, right? Okay. All right, so now I've got that. I can actually go into the site, Transtat. And this is where I'm going to start getting confused. So if you folks know how to deal with this, let me know. I'm doing this for some reason. I guess it just clears all the content that's maybe comes with Statamic. That makes sense. Okay, and then I need to put this somewhere I can't see it anywhere. Can I go maybe down like this? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, and then we're going to go make a theme. Would you like to set this as the active theme? Sure. Theme configured. And now I need to copy all of this into the package.json. Let's try that. I guess I got to open this up in Visual Studio Code. So I want transtat. Where is it? Man, sometimes Visual Studio Code is not very fast. Okay, and I've got to find, what is this again? I've got to find package.json. All right. So find in files, package.json. Where is that? I actually want to search for files. How do I do that? Must be in, where is it? Oh, site themes, my theme. Okay, let's just look for it that way. So site, theme, my theme, package.json. All right, now I'm guessing I'm not replacing this code, or, oh yeah, I probably am. Okay, let's replace this. Saved it. Oh, sorry, R2Lin, I didn't see that. Okay, first part of build scripts that will allow you to process Tailwind, and the rest are the required dependencies. Create a Webpack mix.js file. Okay, so in my theme, new file called Webpack mix, and now I need to copy all this stuff. Save it. All right. I don't use Sass or less or fancy CSS tools, so I keep it simple. Create a base CSS file in the theme CSS folder. That will be eventually compiled with all the Blackmagic stuff. Okay, so where was I again? Theme. Can I just rename this to base? Or maybe I can't. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Probably doesn't matter, but I don't want to. Base.css. Okay. So that's done. Same for create base.js in the JS folder. Okay. Let's create a new file called base.js. All right. Now I need to go into there. Hold on here. Let's what's going on here. Okay, so let's go into this now. So I need to go cd, site themes, my theme, then yarn. This might take a little while. Gonna do a little dependency installing. Maybe while we're doing that, I'm gonna close some of this other stuff. It's just, my machine feels like it's really dragging. All right. Okay, and now we're gonna add Tailwind. Oh shoot. I want to ask Adam, he's probably not awake or around, but will Yarn add Tailwind CSS add the new Tailwind? Probably not. That's a question for you folks. Ugh. How come this really does not like anything? Oh, Adam's actually here. He says yarn add Tailwind CSS at next. Okay. No dev. You said away from computer. Okay. Oh, crap. I need to get out of here. There we go. So, all right. So, let's add. So we're going to add yarn add Tailwind next. And add Tailwind. What did you say? At next. Oh wait, yarn at next dev. All right, let's see if this works. And then I need to do this. Is this okay? I would say Statamic is better than the other tools I've tried. Don't do what? Don't do that node module thing? Okay. Only go up to init. What does that mean? Oh, like don't add the, skip the Tailwind.js. Okay. All right, let's try it. Thanks, Adam. Oh, is this a new thing? Now it says copy Tailwind style sheet into the base.css. Is that like this? Is that what he's talking about? But I want next. Okay, so I guess I'm supposed to copy this. I'm not sure if this is similar for next. Doesn't seem to be equivalent for the new version. But okay, I'm just going to do this. Save. Okay. You can now run yarn run watch or yarn run production. Can I run that anywhere? Let's see what this does. Unexpected error. So tailwind.js doesn't exist. Oh, now I'm stuck. I wonder if the new, because there's tailwind config.js. I'm really going to need to read the new docs. Check your Webpack mix file is what Adam's telling me to do. He's telling me to check this file. I should say require Tailwind CSS in there somewhere. All right. It says require Tailwind CSS, but it doesn't say JS. Tailwind config.js. All right. Just want me to find and replace all of these. How many of these are there? There's one. Okay. Save that. And let's go back. Let's try this again. I want to know how you guys can even see what's on my screen with this tiny bit of text on here. Whoa. Is it done? Is this like running something right now? So if I go to transtat.test, what happens? Oh, okay. Got a site running. And is it... It's loading Bootstrap. Why? This is still running like... No, this is Tailwind stuff. Okay, let's go back here. So what does this do? What does yarn? I don't understand. What does do? Yarn run watch. What does that do? What did I just do? Let's see if I can figure out. Default. Do you need to figure out why it's loading? Okay, so theoretically this should all be kind of running right now. Okay, so I can delete this thing to Bootstrap. So I think so far I haven't done any of, I've always just linked to Adam's the Tailwind stuff he has on the server. And so I've never actually had to compile all this stuff. So where do I add my Tailwind stuff? just in line, like I did before. Definitely, yeah. Adam wants to do a pairing thing sometime in the future, because I am just like kind of mucking around right now. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have to run jQuery, do I? Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that too. Clean this up. And let's go back here. There we go. Now it's just this. Okay, so why don't I try to style some of this right now? Oh, but Adam thinks something's not quite right. My CSS file still has all the lines like Tailwind components in it instead of got my theme, and then why do I have both of these now? This is probably okay. So Adam's saying if it says pre-flight, change it to base. Let's do that. Now I'm worried because I've got I don't understand why I created this other CSS file. It's like I think I duplicated something here. Like, why did I need both of these? Doesn't make sense. Okay. So this is probably right, because it's at least styling something. Let's go back here. And okay, I need to look at what I did before with a different project. So let's go to that Vapid site I was building. And oh, didn't want to do that. Just need, where is it? Just need to see what I did before. Okay, let's hide this. Nope, that's not what I want. Charlie's trying to tell me something, but all right. Oh, and Adam says he's at his computer now. See if he can call me on Skype. He doesn't have to, but all right. So I just want to add something in here to test this out. I asked if Adam wanted to join me on Skype, and he said, yeah, sure, let me just travel back to 2004 really quick. I thought I had two things going here. What the hell? So I'm just going to try putting this in, and we'll see if this makes any sort of difference. Oh, that's text white. Okay, yeah, I guess it worked. Let's see what happens when I put text dark. All right, okay. So it looks like something tailwindy is working. That's good. And now I got to figure out kind of what's happening. I'm just going to, oh, here we go. Hey, what's up, Adam? Here, hold on. Let me bring you in. Let me bring you in on screen. Well, actually, I guess we just need to hear your voice. That's all that matters. Hey, folks, let me know if you can hear Adam. So,
that's pretty cool.
Welcome.
How's it going? I can't really. Do you have to share your screen with me, or should I just like live?
Oh no, that would be brutal if you had to live in
a minute in the past or whatever.
Yeah, a minute in the past. Here, I'll just I'll show this.
Okay.
This is why Tuple needs like
some sort of live stream integration.
Live stream integration, but I think that's like not the market they want to go after.
No, but that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
You can do it if you're clever, but yeah.
Have you done it? Have you done it with some live streaming before?
I don't know if I've done it with live streaming, but I have done it where I like recorded the whole thing.
Okay.
And it would be no different. Like, at least I use OBS, which is like really awful, but
yeah,
you can do anything with it, like, you know. So it's just complicated.
Yeah.
So where are we at here?
Okay, so I just have some worries. Like, why did he tell me? Like, I think I have two CSS files. I have mytheme.css and base.css.
Okay, so base.css, if I'm not mistaken, looking at it, that looks like your file that you should be, like, that you can edit. And my theme looks like the file that creates.
Okay.
So, like, a good way to test this would be if you open your tailwind.config.js file.
Where's that?
It's that file you created when you ran, like, Tailwind init. So if you open up your sidebar in VS Code.
Okay.
It's probably just at the very root of the project somewhere.
Okay.
There it is. Scroll up a little bit. It's right above that webpack.mix.js file.
Okay.
Cool. So in that theme section.
How do I want to keep this open. There we go. Okay.
So if you go to that theme section.
Yep.
And hit enter in there.
Okay.
So you got a new line and type colors, colon, and then another open curly bracket. And then inside here, type like Justin, colon, and then just put like some hex code in quotes, like some color, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure you wrap it in quotes though.
I have to wrap it in quotes?
Yeah. So like pound 111 or whatever, 000. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My favorite one is BADA55.
What's that?
It's funnier when you type it.
BADA55.
No, 55.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice. Is
So,
that a real color?
Yeah, that's a real color. It's a really ugly color. So do you still have that yarn run watch thing going?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still running here.
Okay, so go to that mytheme.css file.
Okay.
And just do like a command F in here or whatever and look for the word Justin.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what we just did is we replaced all Tailwind's default colors with this new color list, which only has one color in it called Justin. which is this horrendous green color that you can see in the little swatch there.
But it's
so
badass.
that just automatically makes like all the different Tailwind classes for that color for you now.
So this is where Tailwind gets powerful then base is just like some boilerplate code that runs all this stuff.
Yeah, and you could customize this file. Like if you wanted to add any of your own custom CSS that, stuff that didn't come with Tailwind, you would add it to this file. But that mytheme.css file is kind of like, that's like the generated file that you don't want to edit that because it'll just get overwritten anytime, it rebuilds stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to close my theme. So why would I use base instead of Tailwind config.js? .js.
It would be for things where you wanted to add classes that like Tailwind didn't come with. So like right now Tailwind doesn't have like classes built in for doing CSS transitions and animations, for example.
Okay.
So if you wanted to add like custom animations to your site, you'd have to write the CSS for that custom, and you would just put that in the base.css file along with like the Tailwind, like the kind of those base Tailwind declarations.
Yeah.
And then this file is just for when you want to customize the stuff that Tailwind does generate.
Okay. Got it. So and I can see why this is going to be more powerful than just linking to whatever assets you have on a server somewhere, because now I can actually customize stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Another cool thing, like, get rid of that colors thing for a second, because that's going to basically make it so we can't use any of Tailwind's existing colors.
Okay.
If you save this file and then go back to your base.css file.
Yeah.
So on line like 22, right after Tailwind components.
Yeah.
Create like a new CSS class called like BTN, like a button class, for example. So you just do like .btn.
Yeah.
Space, open curly bracket. And if you type the @ symbol and then the word apply and then space, you could put a list of CSS classes here, like a list of Tailwind classes, the same stuff that you would put in your HTML. And Tailwind will automatically kind of like replace that with those rules. So this is like a feature that people use a lot when they find themselves like repeating the same stuff over and over again in their HTML, and they want to kind of like extract that. So they just have, like say you have 10 buttons on your site and it takes like 11 classes to make a button.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to go update all 11 of them if you change your mind about like how that button should look. It's nice to just have like one button class. So here, say you did something like px-4, for like some horizontal padding, and then space like py2, and then space like bg-blue-500.
Now, is this also a place I can put, if I don't want your built-in colors, is this where I can put, remember last time I wanted like my transistor yellow or whatever?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do I put that here, or do I put that somewhere else?
I would do that in the config file where we added that just in color.
Okay, you can show me how to do that later. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So if you just save this now, probably add a semicolon at the end and save that, and then check out that my theme file again.
Okay, my theme.
If you just do like, I don't know what the command is in VS Code. Try like Command T, and then actually hit backspace, and then type my theme.
Oh, there it is right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just do a search in this file for like .btn. And you can see like it replaced that @apply stuff with like all of the actual code.
Sweet.
So that's the sort of like cool stuff that you can do when you're using Tailwind, like installed from npm, that you can't do if it's just on the CDN.
And this isn't doing any Sass or less, any weird compiled stuff. It's just like producing this and then.
It's using post CSS, which is similar to Sass or less in a lot of ways. So there is like a processing phase. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not using Sass or less specifically. It's kind of using post CSS instead.
Okay.
Which is a little bit more. It's kind of like a more extendable sort of tool for doing the same sort of thing.
I mean,
so you could kind of like write your own customizations, whereas like Sass is like whoever maintains Sass is in charge of the features that Sass provides. With Post CSS, you can kind of like add your own features and stuff like that.
yeah, this is the first time I've played with any kind of generative CSS that I've understood. Because I just didn't. You were able to just step me through all the. I can see where it starts and where it ends, which is really helpful. So what about custom colors? If I have a transistor yellow, let's see, where is?
Yeah. So why don't you grab like the hex code for that and like just copy that,
Okay.
and then I can kind of show you how you would do it.
Okay. So this is FBC 75D, of course.
Yep, naturally. I could have told you that just looking at it. Cool. So you can delete that class that we made because that's
Okay, and where do I delete it again? I delete it here, right?
this file. Yeah, base.css. That's your file.
Okay.
Cool. So if you go back to tailwind.config.js, so instead of adding a colors key, add an extend key.
In the theme area.
Yep, exactly.
So, and I go extend.
Yep, colon, space, curly bracket. Then in here, hit enter, because you're going to have to type a decent amount of stuff. So now type colors here,
Okay.
colon, space, curly bracket, and then enter. And now in quotes, type like transistor dash yellow or something. Do it like all lowercase, like you would want it to appear in like your HTML.
Transistor. Can I just do tran yellow? It's way easier.
Sure, yeah. And then colon at the end of that, outside of the quotes.
Okay, yeah.
And then in quotes, paste your hex code.
Okay.
So what you're saying here by using the extend keyword is anything that you put under extend is going to be stuff that gets added in addition to the stuff that comes with Tailwind.
Okay.
So you'll still have all of Tailwind's colors plus this like tran yellow color.
Okay.
If you wanted to completely replace Tailwind's colors, which is pretty common, like you're working with a designer who like gives you a color palette for the project, like maybe even the guy who did your site has like a branding
Yeah.
deliverable for you or something that has all the colors that you're supposed to use.
Yeah, we have a style guide, yeah.
Yeah, so if you had all the colors that you knew you needed, you would just put colors right under theme instead of an extend, and you would just put all your project's colors there and just like pretend Tailwind's colors don't even exist anymore.
Okay.
So now if you save this file...
Oh, sorry, actually, just let me back up. So instead of saying extend, I would just have theme colors?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So extend says add this to Tailwind's existing colors. If you don't put it in extend, then it's just going to replace all of Tailwind's existing colors.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to save this.
Yep, and now you should be able to just use that color for things. So like if you're in your HTML file there, on like the body, you could just say like BG tran yellow. And yeah, make sure you got 2 L's in yellow there. And just to be sure, instead of doing H full, try doing H screen.
Okay. What is H full?
It's 100%, which is not... It doesn't work the way you'd expect in CSS a lot of the time.
Okay.
A lot of the time you'll say make this height 100% and it'll still be 0 pixels tall. But H screen says make this fill the screen. So this way we're guaranteed that when we refresh the page, we're going to get like a result that we expect. So anyways, if you go to wherever you have this open in the browser, hopefully we see like the transistor yellow background now.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Nice, man. This is awesome. Question.
Mm-hmm.
How often are you like looking at these docs and looking for what what all these things mean, or do you just have every single one of these classes memorized now?
I think I have them probably like 95% memorized at least. but it's kind of cheating because like I chose the class names based on like what I thought made sense. So it's not that I like have them memorized. It's a lot of time I said I'm guessing what I think they should be, and I get it right because I'm the one who graded them. You know. I think like what would Adam have called that class, and that's easier for me than it is for people who aren't me.
This is the whole Taylor Otwell advantage all over again. He says, I invented the framework, so I can just fine.
Sure.
First, let me check what my wife says. Okay, she's going to get the kids to soccer, so I got a little bit more time. Okay, I need to move this out. I want to go back to this dude's instructions here. What is yarn run watch versus yarn run production?
Got it. Okay, so yarn run watch is kind of what you want to use when you're developing locally. What that does is it like starts basically a background process that's just sitting there running, watching your files for changes, and anytime. So like this is the reason why we're able to just like save that Tailwind file and hit refresh in the browser, and the yellow automatically exists, right?
Okay.
What yarn run production does is that generates the file that you would actually want to put like live on your production server. So that doesn't run a background process. It just does runs one script until it's done, and then it ends. Whereas this just kind of runs forever until you end it with Control C.
Okay. So this is only for local devs, so I don't have to keep refreshing this.
So you don't have to keep coming back to the terminal and like typing yarn run development or whatever over and over again because otherwise every time you change your Tailwind file you'd have to come back to the terminal, type a command, and rebuild.
Gotcha.
Which is super annoying.
And you've just decided on yarn for Tailwind, or
actually yarn and npm both they're like drop-in replacements for each other. Some of the command names are a little bit different, but every tool works with both of them. It's just kind of like a preference thing.
Yeah.
Which at this point, there's not even a good reason to prefer one over the other. For a while, yarn was a lot faster, but that kind of like put the pressure on npm to make their stuff faster, and now they're both basically comparable. So
okay. Yeah, because the other thing that always weirds me out when I'm reading these instructions is, like, I know that they're comparable, but there's yarn, but I'll see npm stuff, like I'll in the same instructions, it'll be yarn whatever, but then npm will show up somewhere, like it'll be in the mix. So it's not
definitely you only want to use one or the other. Sometimes you'll see like instructions that just include instructions for both, just so that it's super clear, but it's more common to just see npm instructions, and then yarn users just kind of know to translate it to yarn commands.
Oh, I see. Do you not have npm installed locally?
Yeah, I have both installed. So I use yarn 99% of the time, but sometimes someone will need my help troubleshooting something and they were using npm, so I make sure that I use npm to make sure that I'm seeing the exact same results as them.
Yeah.
But I tend to just use yarn for my stuff. No good argument for it either. Just I used it for a long time. Like when it came out, it was better, and I never just switched back, and it's been fine ever since. So.
Is this like a thing that people argue about on the internet?
Not as much as you would expect, honestly. People just kind of use what they use, and no one seems to care.
But there is like you either use one or the other. That's kind of the idea.
Typically, yeah.
Okay, I want to try. While I've got you on the line, I'm going to try to like actually. How do I want to do this? I want to actually try to add another thing. I can't wait till you build this components library thing, because is that public, by the way? Or have you told people you're doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't like made a landing page or like really made it some big thing yet, but we're not like being secretive about it. Like that's something Steve's already working on. So
okay, because what I always end up doing is I just end up copying stuff I've done in the past, right? Because I don't know, I haven't yet memorized all this other stuff yet, so it's easier for me to just like take what I've already done, right?
Totally, yeah.
So I can't wait till I just can go into something like this, because this is how I use your docs. Is I'm always in here just
In like the component section at the very bottom.
yeah. I just something that you had as an example.
Yeah, there's like, it looks like probably our nav bar example.
So let's refresh this. Hey, what's up, Dominic? What's up, Sam Podlagar? Oh, weird.
Okay, so
obviously, oh, here we go.
I wonder why it dropped down so early.
I
guess maybe that's not too crazy.
I got a bad break here.
Yeah, you could probably tweak that. I would just look at the code and kind of try and figure out like what breakpoint you're using.
Is that what you do? Is just open up dev tools and just like figure it out?
Yeah, or even just like look at it in VS Code in your case. But in this case, yeah. So if you just kind of scroll up, and I would just kind of like keep your eyes peeled for like breakpoint prefixes on things. It's probably like the LG : breakpoint. So if you scroll down,
LG :
yeah, do you see that in there anywhere?
Oh yeah, MT0.
See if there's any more of those. That one wouldn't really be. There's another one.
You probably can't see what I'm doing here. So we got.
Yeah, it looks like that's the one. So, I mean, if that's the only thing, this is the only component you have in this file right now, I would just kind of replace all the LG colons with MD :
MD :
Yeah, so the LG : thing is basically saying on large screens, apply this class.
Okay.
And that's happening like too late right now. So in this case, like we're going to say, instead of waiting to switch to like the wide layout on large screens, let's try and use the wide layout on medium screens.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so save that and then refresh and see. It kind of depends on how many items you have in your nav, right? Like if you had like another couple items, then you'd have to switch
that's better.
A little bit later.
Yeah, that's totally better.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet. Well, this is nice because now I've got that stuff I worked on last time. And because I built it all, like last time I was experimenting with that Vapid CMS, which is actually a really nice way to like figure out templating for the first time. And so my plan is to go, okay, if I really like Statimec, why don't I just try to build some of those elements into the Statimec templating system, which I've never done before, but I'm sure I can hack around on it. But look how good this looks already, just out of the box. Like this already looks like a page.
Yeah, it's definitely a great start.
And in the future, are you going to have, I think I've told you this offline before, but one of the big pain points I have right now, and I realize that other people are into all the fancy shit this can do, but this is just a real world example of the stuff I struggle with. This is our pricing page.
Yep.
Looks terrible. And this is built like with this, if you looked at this, this crazy like builder thing that, like I would rather just write the HTML and CSS and build something that I like.
Yeah.
Look at this. You go in here. You got like packages. You got
See, this is the whole problem with like trying to serve non-technical people is you just make technical people's lives a living hell.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's the same problem with like email marketing tools and anything where anyone tries to do any WYSIWYG anything. It's just like a technical person's nightmare.
Well, and really anyone's nightmare, because at the end of the day, it doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. And so I think for me, one of the jobs to be done with Tailwind is just, is Rick like, is that a, Rick, I can't tell if that's like you putting your, I don't know what that means. But one of the jobs to be done for me is I want the brilliance of Steve Schoger and Adam Wathan together to just build something that looks great that I can just start using here. And I hacked around for 5-10 minutes, and I was able to build this nav off of your examples. Mm-hmm. It's like,
Dude, I wish I could show you the stuff Steve did today. I don't have a copy of it, but he built like I think like 11 different like site footers today, and they're all just like all these different layouts you could use. That you just copy and paste the HTML for the one that you like, drop it in, tweak it as much as you want. So he built a bunch of like testimonial
oh my
stuff, a bunch of
God.
heroes. So that's kind of our first project right now, is we're working on sort of like a Tailwind like marketing page kit, where it's just like probably, maybe like 150 or 200 components, where you can just kind of grab blocks. Like, marketing pages are always just like layers. You know what I mean? It's like this horizontal block followed by this horizontal block followed by this one.
Yeah.
You can just kind of grab all the ones that you want, paste them in, stack them on top of each other, and tweak them all as much as you like.
Oh my God. As soon
Writing
as,
code.
whenever you guys want to go live and just show me that stuff, like, or walk me through it, I would be totally game, because that is exactly kind of what I want. And in some ways, like, I see a lot of these things coming together. Like, you're solving a lot of the technical stuff that I don't understand, like all this other stuff that's running in the background that's automatically, whatever, producing that,
Sure.
that all that stuff. I realize that's important, but I don't really know why. But I want that to be there, right? Like, I want it to be in my stack. But then, as a whatever technical marketer, what's on the edge of my ability right now is saying, okay, well, I could probably use this to actually build the like marketing site that I want, and
end up with code that like John isn't going to hate you for.
well, exactly. And really, that's like going to be a big deal, because that's been like where like John doesn't even want to touch our website now, because it's just a nightmare to him. So if we can have this meeting point of like technical marketing people can figure out enough, but then John can come in and I'm trying. How do you convince technical people to go with Tailwind? What are the things you say? Like, if he's thinking like, oh, I've tried Balma before, I've tried Semantic UI before. Like,
Yeah.
what are the?
I think
how do you convince technical people to use it?
I mean, the main argument for me, and the reason that I made Tailwind for myself, is that anytime you use like a framework like Balma or Bootstrap or Semantic UI or anything, like, they're all really great tools. But inevitably, as soon as you want to make your site look a little bit different than what they're kind of built for,
Yeah.
it ends up being like you're just fighting with it. You're just trying to override things, and you end up making this change here, and that actually affects this other thing over here that you weren't expecting. And now all of a sudden, this feature that you weren't even using in Balma is broken the first time you try to use it because of this customization you made that you didn't realize had this like weird ripple effect.
Yeah.
Where Tailwind is like designed for implementing custom designs. Like, the whole job of the framework is to help you build custom stuff, not for building like off the shelf, looks good automatically stuff. Like, that's what the UI kit stuff is going to be for. But the UI kit stuff is just a layer on top of this like super unopinionated starter that's lets you build anything that you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of like the whole pitch for it.
And so you're saying that it's going to be. I'm getting phone calls here. You're saying it's just going to be different, right? Like, it's going to be different than using Bootstrap because you can customize it.
Yeah, it's different than using, like, right now, Tailwind requires you to be pretty good at CSS to accomplish anything with it, because it doesn't do anything for you in terms of design. Like, it does a little bit in terms of, like, we picked like some nice colors, we designed like a nice typography scale, stuff like that. But it's not like Bootstrap where it's like, here's a list group, here's a carousel, here's a card, here's a whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's very much like, here's some border colors, here's some font sizes.
Yeah.
Like, you have to take these, like, we're just giving you the nuts and bolts. We're not giving you like any finished product.
Mm-hmm.
So that layer is kind of the layer that we've been working on for the last year and a half to kind of nail for Tailwind 1.0. And then this Tailwind UI kit stuff we're working on is designed to be like the more opinionated layer on top of that.
Yeah.
But it's optional and not like all mixed in together. Whereas like most existing frameworks are not built that way. Like at least with Tailwind, you can copy and paste a big hero section, and all you're doing is copying and pasting HTML, which is nice, first of all, because CSS is way scarier to change than HTML in terms of how many different things it could break.
Yeah.
So you just kind of paste that in as a starting point, and then you can drop down a lot closer to the metal to just go in and be like, well, I kind of want this font in the hero to be a little bit bigger, so I'll change that from text 4XL to text 5XL.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're hoping that the approach that we're taking is going to sort of give people like the best of both worlds, which always kind of sounds like impossible. Like usually you have to pick a trade-off, right? But
yeah.
I feel pretty confident that we've kind of figured something out that's going to let people still have all the power that they want to have, but also offer these kind of more opinionated, pre-designed starting points for people too.
Or a developer could set it all up, and then a marketer could understand enough to, tweak things or prototype things. Because that's the next site someone needs to build, either you or somebody. But like Tailwind, like quiz or something to drill me on all of these different things. Like, okay, do padding, horizontal padding. What is that again? Okay, I got to remember. Because I'm still in the copying and pasting phase, and I'm starting to recognize some of these things. But if I was doing like a quiz every day on like, okay, how does this piece work? I'd be a lot faster than I am right now. Right now I have to look it all up.
I think you'll just get there naturally anyways, hopefully. I mean, I'm hoping that like by just even this copying and pasting stuff is the best possible intro to it, because you're naturally going to go in there and tinker with little things here and there. And I feel like eventually you're just going to be able to build stuff from scratch and not even know how you acquired that ability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that is true. Like, as you practice, it becomes better. I just realized I had an inline style there. I want to double check that, make sure that
I think it'll still be fine.
It still works.
It's still the same. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet, man. What should I try next? What am I? I've got this little nav thing. I don't necessarily want to rebuild this exact site. I just want to, I guess I should show folks at home what I'm talking about, but I'm going to try to rebuild this home page. So I think is there like, what's the best place? Is the best place for me to find examples still just on Tailwind somewhere, or is there like other
places?
There's
another
I should
site,
be looking?
tailwindcomponents.com, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's a dash in it or not. Just kind of maybe, yeah. You'll probably find it on Google here. Yep.
And you like this one?
For me, it's a little bit. It's all user submitted stuff, right? So there's no equality filter necessarily. So you're not necessarily guaranteed that every single thing is going to be good. But as long as you're willing to sort of look for the diamond in the rough here and there, then you can probably find some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So it's someone's like side project working on it in their spare time, right? So obviously there's going to be some rough edges on it, but
yeah. My other trick has just been to go to like, what is it? Like Laravel Forge? Which one uses it? Laravel, is it Forge or Spark?
Laravel Nova uses it.
Yeah, so I'll just like go and like look at their classes and the way they've organized everything and go, okay, I'm gonna take a look at this and say, okay, well maybe I could use some of that for my stuff, That's what's so cool about it, is once you start looking at this stuff, you can start to recognize what people are doing and just kind of throw it in your mix, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
It's like this, because it's like so low level, you can build so many completely different sites with it that, yeah, like there's like this shared knowledge and language between like totally different sites. Like if you go to like send.firefox.com, that's like another totally different site built with Tailwind, right? Or even like the Laracon site at Laracon US, which is like obviously a completely bananas looking website, is built with Tailwind.
That's crazy.
And it's pretty crazy that like, oh, this and the Firefox Send website are built using the same CSS framework. Like, who would ever guess that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right, man, I gotta go. I'm getting
Cool, me too.
told, but thanks for jumping on the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, anytime.
Yeah, but seriously, when you and Steve are ready to do some live demos, just call me up. I'm there.
Sounds good. Maybe we can do it in a couple weeks or something.
Cool. Tomorrow. Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Bye. All right, folks, I got to run. Thanks for showing up. See you later.